In my past life, I felt sorry for my mother. She was 9 months pregnant with a high fever that wouldn't break, so I secretly gave her fever-reducing medicine, because the fever lasted too long and treatment came too late. My younger brother was born weak and sickly, but my grandmother insisted it was my fault for giving the medicine. My mother stayed silent and let my grandmother and father beat me and abuse me, so I could atone for my sins against their precious son. Every time my brother got sick, they would blame me. They would beat me and curse me at the slightest provocation. The worst time, they kicked me so hard that 3 of my ribs broke. I went 2 days and 2 nights without food or water. I begged my mother for help. She slapped me viciously across the face. Who told you to give me medicine back then? Otherwise, would your brother be so weak? Would he be sick every other day? You deserve it, you useless waste of money. Why don't you just die? Now, Reborn, I look at my mother, struggling to breathe, seeking help from me with her eyes. I shudder, then shout at the top of my lungs, Grandma, Mom wants medicine. She wants to hurt my little brother. I knew it, you useless waste of money. Your heart is black. Trying to give your mother medicine to hurt my grandson, you wicked little wretch. Let me beat you to death. The sharp, piercing shriek shattered my dazed consciousness. The pungent smell of disinfectant was gone. The suffocation faded. The image of my body covered with tubes wavered and vanished. Familiar surroundings, the harsh, mean face in front of me, and the woman moaning unconsciously on the bed, all of it told me I had been reborn. Reborn to the time when my mother was 9 months pregnant with my brother and running a fever. In my past life, I had felt sorry for her. She had a high fever that wouldn't break for 2 days. After school, I secretly used the money I'd saved to buy fever medicine from the clinic, but just as I returned, my grandmother caught me. She beat me just like this, but I remembered what Dr. Lee had said. He told me to trust science. A prolonged fever wouldn't just hurt the mother, it would hurt the child too. I was afraid of losing my mother, and even more afraid of something happening to the brother we'd waited so long for. In the end, I managed to give my mother the medicine when Grandma wasn't looking. My mother's fever broke, but the very next moment, she told my grandmother everything. Grandma beat me until my face was bruised and swollen. When my father came home from work and heard about it, he flew into a rage and kicked me from the doorway all the way into the house. I was only 8 years old. I lost 2 teeth from that beating. 3 of my ribs were broken. Grandma said I was trying to compete for favor, that I was a wicked child at such a young age, scheming to harm my brother. Father said I was a worthless girl who didn't know her place, that a few days of schooling had made me forget the heavens and the earth. I lay in bed for half a month, and my mother, she just lay there, enjoying Grandma bringing her food and water, watching it all with cold eyes. A month later, my brother was born. Grandma finally had her grandson. My father and mother had smiles on their faces. I thought my life would get a little better. I was wrong, because my mother's fever during pregnancy lasted too long. My brother's constitution was very weak. He was tiny and frail, but my father and grandmother blamed it on the fever medicine I had given my mother. My mother said nothing. She let them beat me. Again and again, I was forced to drop out of school after finishing elementary school. I became an atonement stone on my brother's path to adulthood. Every time he got sick, every time he fell down, whenever anything went wrong with my brother, I couldn't escape a beating. He caused trouble outside. My parents would apologize to people, then come home and take their anger out on me. He did poorly on exams. My fault. The girl he liked didn't want him. Also my fault. He wanted a phone, name-brand clothes, a motorcycle. My parents sold me to a crippled man 8 years older than me in exchange for a bride price. I ran away many times. Every time I was caught, I was beaten mercilessly. Eventually, I gave up just when I thought this would be my life forever. My brother got uremia. My parents felt like the sky was falling. Then they came to me, of course, demanding that I donate a kidney to my brother. I was forced onto the operating table. I died of an infection during surgery. Just before I lost consciousness, I heard my mother say, "Let her die, let her die. She was born with a worthless life." Who told her to give me medicine when I was carrying Jean Bao? If it weren't for her, my poor Jean Bao wouldn't be in this situation. She's a black-hearted waste of money. Dying is too good for her. My whole body trembles. I suppress the bone-deep hatred in my eyes. My hand trembles as it rubs beneath the thin fabric of my clothes. My kidneys are still there. Grandma, I know I was wrong. I'll never dare again. It was Uncle Lee at the clinic who said medicine can be taken in late pregnancy. I just felt sorry for Mother. I was afraid the fever would hurt the baby in her belly. That's why he tricked me. Grandma snorts. Her finger jabs hard into my head. You shallow, worthless thing. You listen to ghosts instead of people. You remember this. You're nothing but a waste of money. Everything in this house will belong to your brother one day. You'd better know your place. Don't believe any nonsense about your brother meaning you're unwanted. I nod frantically. I know, Grandma. I'll be good to my brother from now on. Of course I know my place. Because whether or not I had a brother, I was always unwanted in this family. That's why my name is Wang Chiodi, Autumn Earth. A girl born to be dirt. Grandma tells me to go to the kitchen and boil water for mother to bathe. She takes the medicine I brought and leaves, cursing under her breath, minding other people's business. From the look of it, she's heading to the clinic at the east end of the village to make trouble. She's stubborn about her old ways. She insists that pregnant women can't take medicine, or the baby will be born stupid. She says she's been through it. When she was uncomfortable, she just endured. She'd rather trust burnt apples and ginger water to break a fever than let my mother take medicine. I wring out a towel and wipe down my mother. I do it several times, then lay a cool compress on her forehead without expression. It started as a low fever, now it's 39 degrees Celsius. This is the 4th day. My mother is burning up, delirious. When the towel goes on, her eyes clear slightly, weakly. She grabs my hand and begs, Chiodi, Mama can't take it anymore. Do you still have any medicine? I feel like I'm dying. I was waiting for her to say this. In my past life, I was stupid, afraid of becoming a child without a mother. I gave her medicine even knowing I'd be caught and beaten to death. She hated me for it. She tortured me for an entire lifetime like I was her enemy. This life. I stepped back, feigning panic and clumsiness, and burst into loud tears. Mama, don't die. You still have my little brother in your belly. Chiodi is boiling water for you. You'll feel better after a bath. Just listen to Grandma, okay? For the sake of my little brother, don't take medicine. Chiodi will go boil water for you right now. Panic flickers in my mother's eyes. She opens her mouth, but before she can say anything else, Grandma rushes in from outside, howling. Her usually ruddy face is twisted with fury. She looks like she wants to hit someone, but she holds back, mindful of the baby in my mother's belly. Instead, she breaks into a tirade. You shameless, rotten-hearted slut. You want medicine, you want to hurt my grandson, don't you? Rotten to the core. And here I am, feeding you and waiting on you hand and foot. Will a fever kill you? You'd even harm your own son. Are you even human? My eyes red, I lower my voice, as if I've done something wrong. Grandma, maybe Mama is just in too much pain. Don't worry. I know you're doing this for her and my little brother's own good. I won't listen to Mama anymore. Good. I knew it. I knew a little girl like her couldn't have gotten such an idea on her own. So it's you, Zhou Shufeng. I've underestimated you. In the end, Grandma can't help herself. She slaps my mother across the face. Grandma, don't hit my mother. She still has my little brother in her belly. I cry. I'm faking it. The pregnancy is stable by now. Even if Grandma hit her, it wouldn't necessarily cause a miscarriage. Grandma shoots me a venomous glare. But my mother, after that one slap, loses consciousness. After all, since getting pregnant with the second child, she hadn't been hit in a long time. Grandma is even crueler. Even though Mother passed out, she refuses to send her to the clinic. She forces her awake by pinching her philtrum. Once the older generation forms a belief, it never changes. Like favoring sons over daughters, she's a woman herself. But back when my grandfather was alive, she lived like a slave. And now she finds every possible way to torment both me and my mother. Maybe it's maternal instinct toward my brother, but after burning with fever for 7 full days, my mother somehow grits her teeth and pulls through. After the fever breaks, Grandma and my father take her to the county for an ultrasound. The baby is fine. Grandma is relieved. She's proud of herself. See, what did I tell you? You just tough it out. Another month of being waited on hand and foot, and my mother gives birth. It's a boy. Grandma and my father are beside themselves with joy. They name him Wang Jinbao, Golden Treasure, just like in the past life. My father can't stop praising my mother for being the family's hero. At my brother's 1-month celebration, they hold a banquet with over 10 tables. Relatives and neighbors from the past life all come. Grandma's smile never leaves her face. What hasn't changed is that I'm still the unwanted one in the family. Go wash your brother's diapers. Boil hot water, wash them several times. Damn girl, I called you to bring a bowl ages ago. Are you trying to starve me? Wang Chiodi, you worthless waste. Are you dead? Don't you hear your brother crying? My mother blames me for the medicine incident. She finds every excuse to torment me. If she's even slightly displeased, a slap comes flying. This is normal in our house. Grandma and my father pretend not to see. They never cared about me before. Now that they have my brother, they care even less. I'm used to it. Compared to what I endured in my past life, this is nothing. I stare at my brother's chubby face for a long time. Then I reveal a cold, dark smile. When he's 3 or 4 months old, my mother starts carrying him around the village. Grandma brags to everyone about how well behaved her grandson is, how easy to manage, nothing like that worthless girl at home. I've heard that when I was a baby, I cried so much that my father wouldn't even sleep in my mother's room after work. I cried so much my mother wanted to give me away. I cried so much grandma wanted to drown me in the latrine. Somehow, I survived, but the way the villagers look at my brother is a little strange. Shufeng, is something wrong with your Jean Bao? Big, whose daughter is younger than your boy, and she could already hold her head up at 2 months, they say, 3 months to roll over, 6 months to sit, 9 months to crawl. My brother is 4 months old. Not only can he not roll over, he can't even lift his head. He's limp. When my mother carries him out, she holds him horizontally. When she holds him upright, his head just lolls on her shoulder. Something is clearly wrong, but my mother can't stand to hear anyone say anything bad about my brother. She gets into an argument on the spot. Bah! Who's not well? You toothless old hag, you're the one who's not well. My son was born with a noble life. I choose to hold him this way. What business is it of yours? The person she's yelling at is from the older generation and a distant relative. She was just trying to help, but my mother can't tell kindness from malice. In the end, she just embarrasses herself. Not only that, when she goes home and tells Grandma, Grandma gets so angry she leaves dinner uneaten, rolls up her sleeves, and goes to that person's house to curse them out. The family chases her away with a broom and says they'll never interact with us again. The story spreads through the village. Every day when I go to school, I can feel the strange looks the villagers give me, hesitant. They want to say something, but they feel it's inappropriate to talk to an 8 or 9-year-old child, and they're afraid of my mother and grandmother's fierceness. There's no winning either way. I know what they want to say, and I know that even though my mother and grandmother are stubborn, they're starting to have doubts. When my brother is 6 months old, other people's babies are already playing. He just sleeps most of the time. When he wets or soils himself, he barely fusses. He'll eat when given milk. Only when he's extremely hungry will he whimper a little. His eyes are vacant. He often stares at one spot without blinking. Finally, my mother panics. She can no longer say my brother is here to repay a debt, because the fever in late pregnancy lasted so long. My brother has congenital pediatric cerebral palsy. When I hear the news, I'm not surprised. In my past life, the fever lasted only 2 or 3 days, and my brother was already born weak. In this life, my mother nearly burned to death. How could he possibly be fine? When they return from the city, my mother's face is bruised and swollen, her eyes puffy, the corners of her mouth split. My father and grandmother also have red eyes. Their world is falling apart. Look is eerily similar to how they looked when they learned my brother had uremia in my past life. As soon as she's through the door, my mother rushes over and slaps me hard. Her eyes bore into me, the hatred in them gradually aligning with the hatred from my past life. I asked you to give me medicine back then. Why didn't you? You damned jinx. You worthless waste of money. This is all your fault. My poor Jean Bao, you caused this. You cursed star. Why don't you just die? I should never have given birth to you. I'm too small to dodge her kicks and punches. Venting her rage, my father watches coldly, his expression dark. Finally, a neighbor hears the commotion and shields me. Otherwise, she might have beaten me to death. How ridiculous. In my past life, she blamed me for giving her medicine. In this life, she blames me for not giving it. But constitution can be nurtured. In my past life, my brother was robust and sturdy, strong as a little ox by the time he was 10. They know, deep down, that this has nothing to do with me, but they still heap all the blame, all the misfortune onto my head. No one cares whether it's fair. I'm just a punching bag for their anger, an animal they hold in their grip for a lifetime. But why? It wasn't my fault she got a fever. I didn't steal her medicine. I did everything I could. It's okay. I tell myself, mother must be overwhelmed by my brother's condition. Since she can't remember, I'll remind her. I shrink behind the neighbor, looking at my mother with terrified eyes. Her eyes are bloodshot. She's panting heavily, like a madwoman. Mama. Chiodi knows she was wrong, but, when you asked for medicine, was that when you had a fever while pregnant with my brother? I did buy medicine because you told me to. At the time, I hiccup through my sobs, stammering out reminders to everyone present. Mama, don't blame Grandma. Grandma was taking care of you. Grandma didn't want you to catch a chill. Grandma was doing everything for your and my brother's good. Grandma, I successfully catch the flash of fury on my mother's face, setting aside all talk of her being a family hero. She truly does love my brother, but Grandma loves him even more. And she must have heard something from the doctor, realized that her refusal to let my mother take medicine was an outdated notion, that it was harming both mother and child. She knows she was in the wrong. On top of the grief and shock, she's been fuming all the way home. Hearing my words, she lets out a howl and explodes. She goes even crazier than my mother. You gluttonous wench, you slut, you've harmed my grandson. You vile woman, you've harmed my grandson. She whacks my mother across the back with a broom. My mother shrieks, her face completely changing. She runs around the yard trying to dodge, and forgets all about me. There was a reason my mother got a fever when she was pregnant. Pregnant women get cravings. My father had gotten his wages that day and said he'd buy her some crabs. It was drizzling, but she insisted on going to the village entrance to wait for him. She ate the crabs that evening, and by the next evening, she had a low fever. She's probably forgotten all this, but I haven't, and Grandma has been bottling this up for so long. As a granddaughter, of course I need to help her let it out. In case she bursts, I bought that medicine. I got a beating from Grandma for it. She even went to the clinic to cause trouble. Everyone knows the story. Unless Grandma wants to be forever under my mother's thumb, unless she wants my father to hate her forever, she'll have to follow my lead and pin the blame entirely on my mother. I wonder what excuse my mother will use to hate me this time. Actually, she doesn't need an excuse. My mother's pig-like screams echo through every corner of the yard. The neighbor can't stop her no matter how hard she tries. She just sighs and mutters, "What a tragedy." Even with all this commotion, my brother doesn't wake up. My father crouches by the door, head in his hands, his whole body slumped with despair. This is my brother's condition now. Our family isn't well off. Apart from a few acres of land, we rely on my father's day wages of 90 yuan as a bricklayer. We might have saved a little over the years, but it's nowhere near enough to treat my brother. Besides, with the current state of medicine, cerebral palsy is incurable. The household is in complete chaos, but I'm not moved at all that night. As I endure the pain all over my body to make my brother's milk, I happen to overhear my father and grandmother discussing selling me to pay for my brother's treatment. My brother's condition isn't glaringly different from a normal child's yet. They don't want to give up. I purse my lips and go back to my room, neither happy nor sad. I know this family is a quagmire. No matter how hard I struggle, I can't break free. That's why, after being reborn, I've been prepared every moment to go down with them. I've already died once. It doesn't matter whether I live well or not in this life. Even if I die, I'm taking someone down with me. I hate everyone in this household equally. The next morning, I get up early as always. I feed the chickens, cut pigweed, then set off for school with half a steamed bun in my pocket. A half-hour walk after school. I scavenge for plastic bottles, then hide them in a secret spot. The bottles are 2 cents each. The money for my mother's medicine came from secretly selling bottles. It took a whole month to save just over 7 yuan. I need time, and I need money. Luckily, over the next few days, my grandmother and parents are busy taking my brother to the city for treatment and barely have time to notice me. As their trips to the city become more frequent, the urgency and disappointment on their faces grow more intense. Almost every time they return, I get beaten. My father's thoughts of selling me fade, not out of family feeling. I hear my grandmother say, "If Jinbao, after we're gone, someone needs to take care of him for the rest of his life." That dead girl's age is awkward. Even if someone wanted her, we wouldn't get much. Forget it. My mother listens to my father listens to my grandmother, so the matter is dropped. Treatment is a bottomless pit. No matter how much you pour in, you can't fill it. The doctor clearly said that cerebral palsy can only be improved, not cured, and even the degree of improvement is uncertain. My father and grandmother seem to accept it. My mother refuses. She insists my brother can be cured. I know my chance has come. I start being docile. I try to please. "Grandma, I've gathered firewood. Let me boil you some hot water, so washing clothes won't freeze your hands." "Grandma, when I grow up, I'll wash all the family clothes. You just rest." "Grandma, the chickens are fed. The pigsty is cleaned, let me watch my brother. My mother probably doesn't like me sucking up to grandma. She hears me and screeches, "You black-hearted waste, you cursed star, who said you could watch your brother, get lost. Dead girl, stay away from my son." I don't let the scolding or beatings get to me. I just give grandma a timid look and keep helping her. Whatever I can help with, I do. Whatever I can't help with, I do anyway. At first, grandma still grumbles, but with someone else doing the work, she's happy to be idle. She's happy to work me like an ox. I get beaten a little less often. My mother grows even more hostile. She can't stand me sucking up to grandma. She's still bitter about me not giving her medicine, but she knows it was grandma who took it away. She doesn't dare blame grandma, so she finds excuses to torment me. Days pass like this. My brother, who neither cries nor makes noise, becomes the misfortune the whole family doesn't want to mention but has to face every day, especially when they see other village children, almost the same age, running around everywhere, burrowing into their family's arms. My mother is miserable all day, getting scolded by grandma now and then. Grandma, mindful of the medicine incident, doesn't hit her as much, but my father does. Coming home after a day of work to this mess, his temper grows more volatile day by day. He takes it all out on my mother. I've overheard him many times, beating her and cursing her for being gluttonous, saying if she hadn't insisted on waiting in the rain, his son wouldn't be like this. Yes, my father is a filial son, of course he wouldn't blame his mother. Some villagers quietly suggest abandoning my brother and having another, but he's already so big, he's a chubby, fair-skinned child. How could they bear to let him go? Besides, my mother's health isn't good. It took 10 years to get this second pregnancy. Who knows how long the third would take? My mother threw a tantrum. No one's dared bring it up since. Relatives usually steer clear of our house, afraid we might ask to borrow money. Meanwhile, my excellent grades gradually become a subject of praise from villagers to my parents. Of course, they couldn't care less. What use is all that schooling for a girl? She'll just marry someone else eventually. When she's old enough to work, she can quit. She wants to stay in school and live the easy life. When I'm in 4th grade, 11 years old, almost all the housework falls on me. My father can't bear to give up on my brother. He goes to the city every so often, praying for any improvement, enough at least for my brother to carry on the family line. Money flows out like water. These past 2 years, my father has carried a dark gloom. My mother also starts working in the county, leaving early and returning late. Less than 2,000 yuan a month. Even so, both their salaries together aren't enough for my brother's hospital trips. It's a bottomless pit. My brother learns to walk at 4. His speech is unclear, his eyes are vacant, he has a runny nose, and his chin is perpetually wet. The village children call him little idiot. He doesn't understand, he just laughs along. Meanwhile, between housework and school, the money I make from selling bottles, I bring it home. Aside from occasionally buying my brother a lollipop, I give the rest to grandma. My grades are good, first in every subject, my hands are quick, I treat my brother well, and I'm careful to say things like, when big sister gets into college, she'll find you the best doctors and definitely cure you. Within earshot of my grandmother and father, they're satisfied. For now, they don't mention pulling me out of school, but I know this isn't enough. In the 2nd semester of 5th grade, following the memories of my past life, I take part in the county's elementary school math competition. I win first place. The prize is 600 yuan. I give all of it to my grandmother. I receive the first praise of my life. Oh, Chiodi, you need to study hard. Your brother's future depends on you. Of course, I agree wholeheartedly, but would I truly be grateful to the people who piled suffering onto me in my past life? I hate him, even if in this life, he's just an idiot. The truth is, my brother is terrified of me. I don't hit him, I don't yell at him, I just look at him with cold, ominous eyes. He doesn't like being around me, but he can't resist the candy in my hand, so in my presence, he's always very well behaved. My grandmother and father think we're good siblings. Their opinion of me is no longer just worthless girl. I tell them that winning first place in the middle school entrance exam comes with a prize, and the college entrance exam's first place prize is even larger, a fortune for our family. Grandma actually goes to check. When she learns I'm telling the truth, her look at me changes. I know, in this life, she'll never again suggest I drop out. When I'm in 7th grade, my father's face shows smiles again. He fixes himself up before going out. His whole appearance is radiant. I watch coldly, counting the time. The house will be lively again soon. I start paying attention to my mother. who's been at daggers drawn with me. In this life, our positions in the house seem to have switched, thanks to me. Most of the beatings I would have gotten have fallen on her. Even when it's just the two of us at home, I don't lose. When she tries to hit me, I go crazy. I run outside, I make a scene, make the whole village know. My father finds it embarrassing, after hitting me once. My mother doesn't fare well either. You've got nothing better to do than torment her every single day. See, knowledge can change some things. I wait for the fireworks, but my mother gets into trouble first. I come home from school. From a distance, I see a commotion in front of our house. As soon as I come near, Aunt Wang pushes me inside. Chiodi, go talk to your father. What couple doesn't argue? If he cripples your mother, you and your brother will be motherless. I'm confused. And also, motherless, that would be great. Inside, Grandma is holding a terrified Jinbao, her face black as thunder, muttering whore, slut. My parents' door is shut. Through it, I can hear my mother's deafening screams, my father's enraged roars, and the clatter of things being thrown. God damn it, I work my ass off to feed this family, and you cuckold me. I'll kill you, whore, you bitch. You gave birth to a retard, and now you've got the nerve to find another man behind my back. I'll fucking kill you. My mother, probably desperate from my father's beating, shoves him away and shrieks, Wang Jiangwo, you're divorcing me anyway. What I do outside is none of your business. And Jin Bao, why he has cerebral palsy. Instead of blaming me, blame your ignorant mother. When Grandma hears this, her face twists as she screeches, vile woman, fox spirit, old slut, you cheat and then try to turn it around on me. Hit her, beat her to death. My father has a mistress. In my past life, that woman even came to our door. Back then, my brother was healthy, so father didn't seriously consider divorce. Grandma, for the sake of her grandson, didn't let him make trouble either. After a while, with mother and grandma watching closely, it fizzled out. But in this life, my brother has cerebral palsy. And in the past year, he's shown signs of epilepsy. They've spent so much money, the initial reluctance to give up has faded. My father and grandmother are likely thinking of abandoning my brother. My mother, out of spite, found a man at the factory. They've been secretly involved. The man is married. When his wife heard about it, she came looking for my father. When she went to the factory at noon, my mother and the man were in the security booth together. You can imagine the scene. My father beat my mother all the way home. The man was also bloodied. I stand in the yard, not knowing what to do. Grandma gives the order. What are you doing? Stay away from that slut. Don't catch her stench. She's about to run off with a man. If you side with her, I'll break your legs and sell you to an old man. I shrink my neck. Stepping aside, the drama continues until evening. The village chief returns. Villagers try to hold Grandma back as they force the door open. My mother is barely alive. Her condition looks as severe as mine had been when I lay in bed for half a month. People have a vicious streak, especially people like my father and grandmother. Some mistakes they can make, but not my mother. If my father wants a divorce and another woman, it has to start with him proposing it, with my mother begging him not to go, with them savoring her humiliation after she's thrown out. They want her to live in poverty and desperation while they feast on wealth and luxury for the rest of their lives. From that day on, my father stops coming home at night. My mother lies in bed for over a week. Grandma leaves her to fend for herself. As for food and drink, only I, her daughter, can care for her. After all, my brother is an idiot. Are you happy? You little wretch, why did I give birth to a wretch like you? I should have strangled you at birth. Curse star, I'll tell you this, even if I divorce your father, I'm taking you with me. You'll never escape me. I hold the bowl, looking deeply at the woman glaring at me with hatred, wanting to tear me apart. I smile. Mother, how can you blame me? What did I do? My mother sees the mockery in my eyes. She screams and claws at me. It's your fault. All your fault. You little slut. Why don't you just die? I knock her hand away and smash the bowl. While she's stunned, my face crumples and I burst into tears. Mother, I'm not the one who made you cheat on father. Why blame me? The whole school's heard about this. You know what my classmates say. They say you're a street whore. They say father is a cuckold. You little slut. I'll tear your mouth apart. I turn and run. My mother leaps out of bed barefoot. She grabs something and throws it at me. I dodge. A shoe flies past and lands with a splat on my grandmother's dark, sullen face. Her face contorts. Grandma, are you okay? Grandma pushes me aside, picks up the shoe, and storms into the room. You old whore, you slut, you cheat and you think you're in the right. You blame Chiodi. You have the nerve to blame Chiodi. I'll show you right and wrong." Behind me, my mother's wails and grandma's sharp curses ring out. I stand in the yard, wipe my tears, and grin at my brother, who's by the kitchen door. My brother steps back a few paces, falls on his rear, and doesn't dare cry. Yes, it was me who inadvertently leaked the affair to my mother. I just wanted her to make a scene with my father. I didn't expect her to go that far, and I certainly didn't tell her to find someone herself. How can she blame me? The atmosphere at home grows more oppressive day by day, so thick you can barely breathe, but every time I hear my mother's wails, I feel a sense of relief. I think there's something wrong with me. I'm like a cockroach festering in the sewers. Dark and twisted, of course. My father doesn't get what he wants either. I remember clearly from my past life, although his mistress was divorced with a child, her ex-husband wasn't dead, he was a gambling addict. The only way she survived was by tricking people out of money. Otherwise, why would she want a man who spent his whole life working outdoors? Dark and short and ugly. In my past life, with Jean Bao as his son, my father was just playing around with that woman, but in this life, he's given her his whole heart. Out of each month's wages, he gives grandma only 500 or 600 for living expenses. The rest goes to that woman. Occasionally, when he comes home, it's around my mother's payday, he takes her money, beats her, then leaves. Months pass. One day, while my mother's at work, my father brings that woman to our house. Grandma cooks a big meal. She calls the woman dear and chats her up. It's my first time seeing her, maybe 30, pale, with darting eyes. I learn she's pregnant. 3 months along, my father paid to have the gender checked. It's a boy, so grandma is beside herself with joy again. Happiness shared is happiness doubled. I politely call her auntie. Before going to school, I make a special trip to my mother's workplace to share the good news. Auntie Chin is pregnant with a baby brother. Dad is definitely going to divorce you. Grandma says even if they divorce, I won't go with you. But Jean Bao is still little. You'll have to take him, Mum. I really feel sorry for you. Divorced at your age, dragging a burden along. Whatever will you do? My mother is furious. You little wretch, how dare you talk to me like that? You think just because that woman comes into this house, she'll treat you well? She slaps me, my face stings, but when she tries to kick me, I dodge. I cover my face and look at her with eyes full of hatred. Mother, you don't deserve to be my mother. Your heart is only for my brother. Grandma's right, you deserve this. Who told you to give birth to a retard, and to find some other man? Father can find someone because he's strong. You finding someone is just shameless. Why don't you die? Learn from Aunt Wu, drink pesticide and die. I don't want you. I want Auntie Chin to be my mother. Then I run. My mother chases me, crazed, but can't catch up. She stands there, red-eyed and panting, for a long time before finally going back to the factory. That night, she doesn't make a scene. She's very quiet. Even when there's a table full of hot dishes for dinner, she doesn't say a word. She eats and goes to her room to rest. My father, with a new love, sleeps in a separate room and ignores her, but I see my mother standing outside Grandma's door in the middle of the night, listening as they discuss sending Jean Bao away. Raising a girl doesn't cost much. Chiodi studies well. The village chief says this girl has a bright future. If she really gets into school, a job could bring in tens of thousands a month. We need to keep her in our hands. We can't let that woman take her. If she insists on making trouble, let her take Jean Bao. He came from her womb. After all, my father doesn't really care where Jean Bao ends up. What school? You think school is free? She can pay her own way if she's capable. If not, we'll find her a husband. The bride price will be a few tens of thousands. The girl has a mind. Haven't you seen how good she is to Jean Bao? You're getting older. After my grandson is born, how many years will you be around to raise him? We need to leave a good path for little Bao. You planning on that freeloader Chin Ping brought with her to take care of you in your old age? To look after a brother not even from the same father? My father is swayed. You're right. We need to plan ahead. Keep Chiodi. Let her take Jean Bao. It's her own fault for having such a useless belly. The next day, my father demands a divorce. My mother refuses. She gets another beating. She thinks that as long as they don't divorce, the other woman can't enter the house. Even if she's pregnant, go ahead, hit me, beat me to death. If you don't kill me, I won't divorce. Fuck your mother, won't divorce. Fine, I'll beat you to death today, won't divorce. Letting me wear a green hat. Divorce or not? Divorce or not? No. I won't divorce even if you kill me. He won't kill her. My father is cruel, but he's more afraid of going to prison for murder, so he just torments her every day. A small beating every day. a big beating every 3 days. Even so, she won't relent at night. She holds Jean Bao and cries, covered in bruises. Her legs are swollen. During the day, she still has to go to work. If she doesn't work, my father won't give her a cent. The house is chaos day after day. I count the days, wondering how much longer she'll hold out. What I don't expect is, she's really, truly resilient. She doesn't budge on the divorce until my father's mistress gets into trouble. My father keeps trying to win her over. My mother won't agree to the divorce. The mistress doesn't mention marriage either. He's anxious. He can only come home and beat my mother. He's also careful. He tries to start with Qin Ping's parents, but when he secretly investigates, he learns she's not completely separated from her ex-husband. He's furious, but he's been with her for so long. He can't believe she'd do that to him. She's carrying his son. He can't bear to give up. The next day, he brings a bag of pork ribs to her place, wanting to have a proper talk. Just his luck. When he enters the yard, he sees Qin Ping's ex-husband coming out. Qin Ping's clothes aren't buttoned properly. Enraged by yet another betrayal, he blocks the ex-husband and starts beating him. He demands to know who the child's father really is. The ex-husband, feeling vengeful after being beaten, tells him about Qin Ping's affairs with several other men. My father explodes. He shoves Qin Ping and beats her so badly she miscarries on the spot. Neighbors hear the commotion and pull them apart. Qin Ping is taken to the hospital. The baby is gone. Her leg is broken. My father demands she repay everything he spent on her over the past year. He'll sue her if she doesn't, but she insists it was all voluntary. They're already divorced. There's no crime in her seeing other men. If they really go to court, he's the one who'd be guilty of bigamy. He also beat her to the point of miscarriage. Not only does she not repay him, she extorts 5,000 yuan from him. The baby is gone. My father has been cuckolded again. Grandma's dreams of a grandson are shattered. My mother, however, is pleased, but her joy doesn't last. My father, having been cheated of money and affection, becomes a laughingstock for miles around. Humiliated, he comes home and beats my mother. This is all your fault. If you hadn't dragged out the divorce, I wouldn't have lost so much face. Grandma also curses her for being a cursed star, saying nothing good has happened since she married into the family. Yes, Mom, this really is your fault. If you hadn't stalled the divorce, Dad and Auntie Qin would have married, and our family wouldn't have lost so much face. Anyway, she's young. It's good the baby's gone. She can give me a real little brother. My mother, hearing my sarcastic words, lunges at me like a madwoman, but Grandma slaps her back. My father grabs her hair and slaps her twice. My father isn't a reasonable man. He just wants to vent, seeing her condition mirror my own suffering from my past life. I feel a surge of excitement. I egg them on, driving them deeper into the abyss. I openly and secretly urge my father to divorce her, and I accidentally mention school things to Grandma. Grandma, my deskmate's stepmother, gave her a little brother. She gave me so many candies today, all for you. I heard her stepmother is on her third marriage. She treats her so well. Grandma takes the candies and looks at me for a long time. I know her attention isn't on the candy after that. I don't know what she says to my father, but he's determined to divorce my mother. Day after day of abuse, my mother finally breaks. It happens very suddenly, just before exams. I'm kept after school by my homeroom teacher to copy problems. My neighbor Xiaohua rushes to the school, out of breath. Chiodi, hurry home. Something's happened. Your father, your mother, your grandmother, they've all been taken to the hospital. I drop the chalk and run home. I even lose a shoe. Xiaohua is a year older and already out of school. We often cut pigweed together. The village chief said your mother couldn't take your father's beatings anymore. She poisoned the food. Your grandmother, your father, and your brother all ate it. Paraquat, my mother says once you take that poison, you can't be saved. She watches my face, trying to comfort me. If they die, Chiodi, what will you do? When I get to the hospital in a villager's car, my brother and grandmother are already gone. My mother made pork rib soup. Grandma couldn't bear to waste the meat, so she drank 2 bowls of soup, but the essence of the paraquat was in the broth. My brother was young. He died on the way to the hospital. My father and mother are being resuscitated. Their stomachs are pumped repeatedly. By midnight, my father can't be saved. My mother, who poisoned the food herself, ate very little. She survives, but her mind is gone. The first time she sees me, she smiles a weak smile, a smile like a vengeful ghost. There's still soup left in the kitchen pot. Mama saved some for you, where no one else can see. I give her a faint smile, more demonic than hers. She struggles violently, people have to hold her down. Her eyes bore into me, her hands claw at the air. You, worthless girl, all your fault, you killed them. My mother has gone mad, driven mad by my father and grandmother. Grandma's obsession with a grandson had become all-consuming. She wanted my father to divorce my mother, to make her take Jinbao and leave, then find another woman for my father. The bride price didn't matter, ugly was fine. As long as she could bear children. My mother had no family to turn to, she didn't want a divorce, she even knelt and begged them, slapped herself. But my father wouldn't even look at her. After so much abuse, my father's selfishness and coldness, his determination to divorce, it was the final straw. She broke. She decided to drag the whole family to hell that night. She cooked dinner, she made a pot of pork rib soup, added mushrooms, then poured in half a bottle of paraquat. Jinbao is retarded. My father and grandmother never imagined she would poison them. By the time they realized something was wrong, it was too late, and I, kept after school by my teacher to copy problems, missed it. I'm the only one lucky enough to survive that afternoon. My mother's condition suddenly worsens. She dies during emergency treatment. I cry until my eyes are swollen. I even faint from crying several times, but none of it changes the fact that I'm the only one left in the Wang family. Distant relatives and neighbors help with the funerals. 3 days later, 4 graves, 3 large, 1 small, appear in our field. I wear mourning clothes. I kneel before the graves in a daze, listening to the comforting words, Aya, Chiodi, you have to look forward, study hard. When you grow up, leave the village. The village chief tells me not to worry about living expenses. I'll apply for poverty assistance for you. Just focus on school. There's only you now. You have to be okay. I nod. My tears have long dried. As I walk back with them, I hear whispers. Hey, you know how strong the smell of paraquat is. How come Shufang cooked with it and you couldn't smell a thing? Who knows? They used the same pesticides as the rest of us. Why'd they use paraquat this year? I lower my head quickly to hide the darkness in my eyes. The November sun has no warmth, just like the light in the operating room in my past life. With the village chief's help, I finish middle school. The high school I get into isn't top tier. The villagers assume it's the trauma and comfort me that it's still good. In truth, I'm no genius. I don't have the conditions for serious study. The knowledge I carried from my past life has run out. Any more struggle and I'll be exposed, but I take my studies seriously. I just have my limits. When the college entrance exam results come, my score isn't high enough for a 985 or Peking University. I only get into an ordinary university. Even so, I'm the first in the village to go to college. The day the admission letter arrives, I kneel and kowtow to every villager who helped me. This is a place I never want to return to. In the years that followed, I never did, not once. Some might call me cold, inhuman, but I'm just a cockroach living in the shadows. I don't care what they think. What do you think of this story? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to hearing your voice.